everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video I am reviewing and testing for the first time the new Smashbox Studio Skin Full Coverage 24-hour foundation. So this is how the box looks like and we are going to dive right into it. I bought the shade 2.4, which is for a light medium skin tone and a warm peach undertone. Little warning, it does oxidize like crazy. We're gonna read the info right away on their website, but they tell you it oxidizes. We're gonna see that right away. It has 30 ml and it retails for 48 Canadian dollars. If you want to see how this foundation performs on my skin, I have dry to normal skin. I'm 31 and I start to have little fine lines issues and I still have some acne, so perfect to test out that foundation. Please keep on watching. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram. And without any further ado, let's get started. Okay, let's try again. So I don't know if I'm gonna keep that in montage, but the first time I used it, like 5 minutes ago, what happened, I started to apply the foundation. As a base, I used my Tatcha Violet C Brightening Serum and the Dewy Skin Cream. I find it was too rich for this foundation. You know how sometimes when you use a full coverage matte foundation, if you use like a very dewy base, it doesn't work out really well. So I took off everything and now I just reapply a bit of my Kiehl's eye cream with avocado, and I'm gonna actually use the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. So I haven't used this one for a while, but I do love that primer because it's moisturizing too, but it's not too rich, not too thick. I found like when I applied it, like it's just the first layer was okay, but on the nose it was not behaving really well. So let's apply the primerizer. I have dry to normal skin, leaning more to the normal right now. It's summer. I have a tiny bit of spots, like I have a hyperpigmentation here, a little bit here on the upper lip, and I have little acne marks that are very slowly healing and a little guy that I just popped because I had no choice. So this looks like maybe a better base for it. I'm just gonna do a little swatch once again. It's a good match for me, but what I do usually when I buy a foundation in store, I always ask for the sample of it. So that way, if I don't like the actual product, I can return it or exchange it, and no hard feelings. It's easy and good for everybody. It says that it does oxidize like a tiny bit. They tell you like it stays to its true color after 60 seconds on the skin. So let's do a little swatch for you. And I'm gonna wait 60 seconds and do another swatch. So that way you'll see how much it oxidizes. It's been a good minute now. Let's swatch again. See how much it oxidizes. So if you buy online, take that into consideration. That's annoying when it happens, but well, they tell you about it, but not everybody reads the information about the product when they purchase, you know, so you've been warned. My sponge didn't work great. It was okay, but I think I prefer the brush. So I'm gonna go with my Sonia Kashuk, zoom you in, and here we go again for a second round. So you really don't need much. So I'm taking that amount and I'm gonna dot it. And if we need more, we'll get more. But I don't want to do too much right off the bat. And you need to work fast. So let's get to work here. Yeah, way better with that primer. Okay, I need a little dot on the forehead, but do you see that coverage? I'm really not used to wear full coverage foundations and even less matte foundation, so we'll see. I'm curious to see how it wears all day long. And nowadays, you know, a lot of matte foundations, they actually look more like a velvety finish. Okay, I have to do my nose. Okay, well, way better with a primerizer. Don't use a moisturizer that is too rich. And this is the before and after. That looks pretty good, pretty good. And once again, I'm using the shade 2.4, which is for a light medium skin tone and a warm peach undertone. They categorize by tones and undertones. I think it's brilliant. Let's do the same on the other side. It is very smooth. It's crazy how easy it is to blend. Still fine on the nose. It's not looking its best. It's okay, but now I'm afraid if I'm putting more, it's gonna look cakey. Okay, I'm not gonna put more. So far, this is how the skin looks. I think the color is good. It did oxidize a tiny bit. I could drag the foundation down a tiny bit. Just make sure that everything is blended, but once it sets, like it doesn't move. So this side is dry, but see, I still have like a nice sheen. So I like that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use the makeup I use all the time on top to see how everything layers on. That way I know how things behave usually and see if there is a difference, if it's more complicated. I'm not gonna use cream products because it's a matte foundation and usually it never ends well. Well, I have to say everything applied very well on top of it. The highlighter looks even more blinding than usual. Everything looks good. The foundation kind of stayed a tiny bit tacky, you know, so first when I started like to apply the bronzer, I could feel the bristles of my brush like kind of gripping a tiny bit. You know, I was light-handed first. Always with a matte foundation, I find that usually like bronzers, blushes pack on like more, grips on the foundation better, I guess. So go light-handed, but I really like that look. I really like how the skin looks. I didn't set with powder, but I used the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist just to, you know, refresh the skin. It's 10:57. We'll see you a bit later for a check-in, but so far I think it looks really good and the match is actually perfect. So I also have on my Instagram little swatches, like arm swatches, where I compared like the Pat McGrath foundations with other foundation shades. So you could add this one to the list if it helps. Okay, it's 3 p.m. and I have to say the foundation wears beautifully on my skin. The coverage hasn't moved at all. I rubbed my nose too and it's still, you know, it looks really good. And I have to say, it looks quite glowy, like it doesn't look matte at all on my skin. And sure, it's really hot, like it's 28 degrees I think right now in the car at least, and I've been there for a while without the engine turning, so no AC. It holds really well and it's quite glowy. Once again, I have dry to normal skin, so I'm quite happy with the result right now. Like the color looks really good and it looks very natural on the skin, like it didn't move. So yeah, so far it looks great. I will see you in a bit. Alright my friends, I am back home and it's almost 5 o'clock. I'm gonna take my mirror here and I'm gonna look up close. The last check-in, it was quite impressive, but I sweated so much in the car because I was trying to film the check-in several times and I had people calling me at the same time, so every time I was cutting, you know, what I was saying, so I had to restart again. I ended up staying in the car like for 40 minutes with no AC, so it wasn't too loud to film. It was anyway. So yeah, it was really hot, and on top of that, it's kind of a stormy day today, so it feels very heavy, it feels humid, which is rare for Edmonton, and you have a feeling like it's gonna rain later today. So humidity proof, checked. Heat proof, checked. And sweat proof, because I sweated quite a bit in the car. So the only area where I can see a little bit of separation is on the nose, but once again, I sweated a lot. I find the foundation so nice on the skin. I'm quite impressed with the finish. It's very natural. It's kind of a satiny finish, I would say. And everything holds up pretty well together except for the nose. So I'm gonna zoom right away. Okay, and it's not that bad, to be honest. I have other foundation that are like worse than that. So of course, but otherwise, look, like it looks so nice still. And look at the finish here, like everything melted together, like the highlighter, the bronzer, the blush, everything stayed put. I'm quite impressed with that little guy here, to be honest. So if it doesn't break me out, I will say I highly recommend it for dry to normal skin. Now, if you bought the foundation and you are oily or combination, let us know down below your thoughts. Also, if you have like, you know, a shade comparison, saying like, okay, for me I have like the 2.4 and in the Pat McGrath I'm number 13, in the Natasha Denona Phase Glow I'm 42. It would be great, and it would be, I think, super helpful for everybody here, like to try to pick their shade if they can't go in store. If you buy it online, just acknowledge that it oxidizes, like it gets at least 2 shades darker. So let's see very quickly their claim here and see if I agree or not. So they say 24-hour full coverage with a matte finish. I'm not gonna wear it for 24 hours, never. It doesn't have like a matte finish right now. It had it like before, but now with the sweat and the humidity, I would say it's more like a velvety finish, which I find awesome. And once again, I did not set the foundation. So if you set it, maybe it will stay matte longer. I also use the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer Primer, so it's a bit more hydrating. Then they say weightless, comfortable feel, that's not settling and not creasing. So I agree, it's weightless. It's quite impressive how it blends very easily on the skin. It's comfortable. I don't feel like I'm wearing a full coverage foundation, and it didn't crease at all. Didn't crease. So yes, I agree. Oil and shine control with kaolin clay and bamboo powder. It does, I don't know, for people who are more oily, if you are and you have that foundation, what are your thoughts? I think everything looks good. Like, it did not separate except for my nose, but as I said before, like, I was kind of like touching my nose a little bit. But otherwise, yeah, I would say it did not separate. Now it got a bit more glowy. Waterproof, sweat and humidity resistant. I agree. I agree. Well, I didn't take a shower with it, or I didn't swim, but I believe it could be waterproof. Smooth skin with hyaluronic acid, vitamin E, and light scattering spheres. So the skin feels very nice. It still feels a bit tacky, and it still felt a bit tacky after I applied it. It feels very, very good. That's why I don't wear matte foundation. Usually it feels dry, and I have a feeling I'm wearing like a clay mask or something. Here, not at all. For all skin types and non-acnegenic, so, and it's cruelty free. Yeah, comfortable 24-hour full coverage foundation that weightless. It glides over skin, it controls oil and shine, and has a blurring effect. It's also waterproof, sweat and humidity resistant, won't look cakey or cause acne. Well, for the acne, I'll let you know. Hopefully I don't break out. I'm super impressed. I'm happy I got the right match. So make sure once again to do a swatch, wait, or here, if you're in store, it's better to do it here. I would say 2 minutes, like a good 60 seconds or 2 minutes, just to be sure, and then decide which shade you want to pick. All right, my friends, that is all. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful and it helped you to decide whether or not you want to try it. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram. Have a great long weekend. I will see you in the next one.